Hello, I'm taking on a challenge to beat every playable Nintendo published game. Welcome to the next episode. The next game is Game & Watch Mario Bros. Game & Watch Mario Bros was the 6th game released in the multi-screen series, although you'll notice that something is different about this one. Instead of orienting the screens vertically, the screens are oriented horizontally. There are a few other multi-screen units like this, and for whatever reason, those will also happen to be the next few multi-screen units we'll see. Now, if you're familiar with the upcoming arcade game Mario Bros, you might think that this was another arcade port, similar to the Donkey Kong-based Game & Watch games. However, there are no similarities between this game and the arcade game that would come out later in the year. Perhaps they decided to develop both of them at the same time, and the Game & Watch version just so happened to be completed first. Interestingly, this game marks the very first appearance of Luigi, as he is referenced by name in the instruction manual as Mario's brother. He would also soon appear in the Mario Bros. Arcade game, so once again, I can't help but wonder if he was initially designed for the arcade game, but because the Game & Watch games were easier to make, he ended up here first. While Game & Watch's old forward air in Smash Bros. Was called Cement Factory, an up-and-coming Game & Watch game, the move looks a lot like the packages being prepared in this game, so I'm not exactly sure about this one. In this game, Mario and Luigi are working at a bottling plant. Guess Mario got tired of working as a carpenter after the whole Donkey Kong fiasco. Mario and Luigi's job in this one is to move the bottles being packaged from one conveyor belt to another. Mario moves the packages on the right side of the screen, and Luigi works on the left. Similar to Mickey Mouse and Donald, they each have a switch used to control their individual movements. Man, this work seems really tedious. I feel like the conveyor belt should be designed in a way to just raise it to the next level without the need for someone to manually move it. That being said, I've worked at a semiconductor manufacturing facility myself before, and there were plenty of people whose primary job was to just buffer wafers from one machine to another. So maybe this one isn't quite so far-fetched. This one is all about making sure Mario and Luigi are both managed properly at the same time. There's a lot of packages to manage at once as the difficulty advances, and it can be surprisingly tough to line up everything properly. New packages on the bottom right especially require attention, as they come in suddenly, and there isn't much time to move Mario in front of them. I often thought Mario was comfortably where he needed to be next, only for a new package to suddenly pop up and ruin everything. Speaking of, failing to line either Mario and Luigi up with the package will cause it to come crashing down, and you will lose a life. First of all, their boss comes in and yells at them while they bow apologetically. While the main way you earn points in this one is through each successful package you move, you gain a burst of points for filling up the delivery truck with 8 packages. After doing this, the truck rides off and Mario and Luigi take a break. It doesn't last long though, as their boss comes in and yells at them to get them back to work. Geez, between this and the humiliation they go through for making a single mistake, this might just be Mario's most relatable appearance he's ever had in a game. There's nothing too complex here, and honestly, most of the time this one moves pretty slow. There's some moments where it gets exciting, but a lot of the time is spent waiting for the packages to move along the conveyor belts. I didn't find this one to be particularly hard, and I got to 268 before I lost my first life. I lost it by trying to move too quickly, and Luigi moved before he even transferred a package to the truck. Getting to 300 was a piece of cake from here, earning me the life refresh and accomplishing my goal. I made it a bit further, and my run ended at 467 points. At this point, the game was getting hectic enough that I had a hard time keeping up with everything. Next up was Game Mode B. I think this mode just got busier quicker. However, at this point, my biggest challenge was being able to stay focused for long enough. The slower pace was starting to get to me, and I was making a lot of dumb mistakes. I only got to 169 points in my first try, and initially, I was content with my score in Game Mode A, and I just stopped here. However, I came back later to earn the life refresh in Game Mode B, too. With a renewed mind, I got to 300 points in my first try. I did lose all but one of my lives though, so things got a bit tense near the end. With that, Game & Watch Mario Bros. Was complete. On to the review. While I still enjoyed this one, it felt a bit more boring than some of the other recent Game & Watch games. I did like the multitasking, and it did get deceptively tough once it started to speed up, but too much of the time was spent slowly waiting for the packages to cross over the conveyor belts. I still gave this one a 6 out of 10 in the end, but it was pretty close to a 5. Unfortunately, Luigi's first game didn't really knock it out of the park. Thanks for watching the video. If you want to see more of these in the future, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you won't miss out on the next one. Also leave a like if you enjoyed it, since it'll help the channel grow and motivate me to continue this series. I hope I will see you in the next step of my quest to beat every Nintendo game.